If you ask a random person on the street why the first world was destroyed, they will answer without a second thought. For sins, for pride, for humanity losing its way. Humans desperately want to believe that their deaths have moral weight, that the universe punishes them for something grand. Welcome to FableRemains. I am Professor Gideon Temenos, and today we are opening the Sumerian archives to break your heart. The first end of the world didn't happen because of our morals. It happened because we were breathing too loudly. Bronze Age rave, baby! And much to my deepest regret, Sol Specter has once again broken into the broadcast grid.
You're too boring, Professor. Let's translate from the language of your dusty library into something real. Humanity multiplied. They invented the plow, the wheel, and beer. The planet was buzzing 24/7. And the supreme boss, the great god Enlil, got a fucking migraine.
It is stated very clearly in the Epic of Atrahasis. The earth roared like a wild bull. Enlil could not sleep because of the noise of the humans. He calls a council of the gods and declares,
These microbes are digging canals too loudly. The bags under my eyes are the size of Babylon. Kill them all!
Exactly. No divine judgment. No weighing of souls. Imagine you live in an apartment building and your upstairs neighbors are blasting music at 3 a.m. And instead of knocking on the door, you decide to destroy up the whole block.
Classic corporate approach. Problems in the department? Just flood the floor and hire new interns.
The Council of the Gods agrees. They pass a resolution for a great flood. But Enlil knew there was one among them who could ruin everything. Enki, the god of wisdom and, coincidentally, the chief engineer of Project Humanity.
You bet. Enki sculpted us out of mud himself. We were his favorite. Cheap worker drones.
So Enlil forces all the gods to take a great oath, to sign a brutal NDA. No one is allowed to warn the mortals.
And this, my dear bags of meat, is where my favorite part begins. Because Enki, he found a loophole.
Enki was bound by an oath, a divine contract sealed with the names of the ancestors. A direct warning to humanity would mean the annihilation of Enki himself.
But Enki was history's first reality hacker. If you can't talk to a human, talk to the furniture.
He went to the hut of King Ziusudra. He knew the king was sitting right behind a thin reed wall. And Enki began a monologue.
Wall, listen to me, Wall. Tear down your house, build a boat, abandon your wealth, save your life, make it huge, make it a cube.
Ziusudra wasn't crazy. But when your wall starts spitting out the engineering specs for a 7-deck vessel, you grab an axe.
Imagine his wife's face. Honey, why are you tearing apart the bedroom? Quiet, dear. The fence said it's going to get really humid tomorrow. It was the world's first construction project approved by an inanimate object.
They built it in 7 days, a massive black cube. They loaded it with craftsmen, gold, and the seed of all living things. Essentially, the first data backup in case the planet's hard drive got formatted. The storm lasted 6 days and 7 nights. The gods, who so desperately craved silence, finally got it. But there was one problem.
They're idiots, Professor. They wiped out their own waiters. And the Sumerian menu? Gods don't cook for themselves. They feed on the aroma of offerings. No humans means no barbecue. No barbecue means the gods start eating each other.
The texts say the gods cowered. They pressed against the walls of heaven like frightened dogs. Enlil wanted silence, but he got starvation in an empty apartment instead. When the waters receded, Ziusudra stepped out onto the mountain peak. He didn't fall to his knees. He did what he did best. He built a fire and roasted a sheep.
And then began the most pathetic spectacle in the history of the cosmos. The great creators of the universe, catching the scent of roasting fat, descended from the heavens, and I quote, like flies.
They swarmed the altar, elbowing each other, greedily inhaling the smoke. Enlil's pride evaporated at the first whiff of brisket. Turns out the great gods were nothing but parasites on the bodies of those they tried to drown. Many nations would later retell this story. They would add morality to it, righteousness, divine wrath for human sins. But the Sumerians remembered the truth. We didn't survive because we were good. We survived because one of the gods knew how to find loopholes in a contract. Many cultures had their great flood, but this one was the first, and the most honest in its sheer pettiness. If you're curious about what other divine mistakes are kept in our archives, you know where to find us. The door is always open for those willing to look into the dark. Hey, you lumps of clay, click that little button down there. You know, the one that makes us popular. Otherwise, we'll be building an ark in your bathtub. Got it, you d***s? Engineer of Project Humanity.
You bet.
Она упала, блядь. Так хорошо сделала, она упала.
Council of Gods agrees. They pass a resolution of
Ah!
great flood. But Enlil